For some reason, I'm more excited than usual to start off a new sketchbook, and I don't really know why, but I just am. I decided to go back to the Bailey J sketchbook after using the last one that I had, which was a Strathmore Mixed Media, and it's because I absolutely love the Bailey J sketchbook. I've used it time and time again. It works wonderful for markers, and honestly, it's a paper that I've come to really love almost. So, yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Ward and welcome to my channel Ward Draws A Lot, and this week we're going to be starting our new sketchbook. If you want to know a little bit about the sketchbook, it is 200 GSM cardstock, 60 sheets or 120 pages, it lays flat when it's open, and it has like an embroidered cover, and it comes in white or cream paper, and I think she recently introduced dotted paper, but I don't really use dotted paper like that, but that's for anybody who wants to know. I'll genuinely link the sketchbooks down below if you guys, want to try them for yourself. I obviously don't get paid for anything. I just really love the sketchbook, and I really support, Bailey because she's been on here forever, and I love the fact that she's an artist putting out materials for artists. So yeah, there's that. This was the Luna Moth sketchbook, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It was the one that called to me the most when I came to start drawing in it, and from here, well, that's where the first page begins, right? The first page can be seen as a scary thing, but honestly, I don't look at it like that anymore. I did when I was younger, but now I just kind of have fun. Whatever I feel like drawing, I do, and, however I want to draw it, I'll do that too. Sometimes I do something completely out of my comfort zone, sometimes I do something directly within it, and a lot of the time I just try to tell myself that it's just the first page. It doesn't mean anything. The first of anything never really matters. It's what you do with the first of something, I guess, right? So as the artist does, I put the pencil to the paper, and I decided to draw something a little bit more, I guess, like an expression of something that's brooding or tiresome. And I think it was because while I was drawing this, I was so tired. For some reason, more recently than ever, I have been exhausted. And I don't know if it's like the transition into like summer to fall, because summer is like, yippee! And then fall comes and you're like, ah, fuck. Like everything kind of topples on top of you in the September through November months, I feel, definitely. Especially September, that's like, but definitely that's what it feels like. I feel like October starts to lighten up somewhere in the middle to end of it, right? I think definitely it starts to lighten up, probably because we've been going to school like our entire life, right? For an example, and September is always the busiest month where you start getting your your assignments, and you're waking up at a certain time and all this stuff. And although I phased out of that part of my life like forever ago, you still keep that routine has been implemented into you for practically nearly, I'm gonna say 15 to 20 years of your life. It's staying there. The second September hits, even when you're not in school, you're like, ah, shit, September's here, right? Like, it's such an innate feeling that you're like, oh man, school's coming, or like you have to get prepared for something, or like college is here and your college schedule is so different than your normal one and you're gonna have to adjust to everything. It's so funny how like a month can determine how busy you are and how much, kind of everything falls on top of you. But I think that that's definitely what I was what I was feeling while drawing this guy. He's very much like being awakened, like promptly, I guess, or something, and he like kind of shifts his body upward, like, what do you want? I'm trying to sleep. And that's definitely what I've been feeling more than ever. It's just I just want to put my head to the pillow and go eepee. That's definitely what I've been feeling, and I feel like he can totally give that vibe off in his face. What I do think with this sketchbook that I want to do, though, is try and figure out how to implement non-line art work. And the reason being is as I was coloring him, right, and I'm like coloring him first and then I ink because that's what I always do. And I'm looking at the sketch with the marker, and I'm like, wow, it looks like so nice. Like it looks like really flowy, or like very how can I say, how do I say, how do I put this on the plate so you can chew on it? like it looks organic. There we go. That is the wonderful word. Okay, it looks very organic almost. Like it feels nice and fresh compared to when I do line art. Now when I do line art, it's not awful. At least I don't think it is. All right, I got my hands up in the air. All right, don't shoot me. I don't think my line art my line art I don't think my line art is that bad, but I feel like a lot of the time I lack flavor when it comes to the line art, and maybe I just need to figure out a new technique, or maybe I have to try and be a little bit more loose with it, because when it comes to line art I get very stiff very quick, and that's kind of like the entire process of drawing. It's just becoming more stiff, and it's so hard to keep track of, because your sketch comes out like loose enough and you're like, okay, then the refined sketch comes in and now it's less loose and you're like, okay, and then like in comes the coloring and then the line art and you're like, damn, where'd the looseness go? I think that's like a true marker of somebody who's mastered their craft, is if they can accomplish that looseness and that fluidity within every stage of their art piece. I think that's like the hardest thing to capture, and like I want to learn to capture that so bad. Yo, you don't have no idea. I want to do that so bad, bro. Like I want to be able to have every drawing like as fluid and as loose and organic as possible, and I think I'm getting there. I know I wasn't years ago. Years ago was horrible, all right? It truly was, but I think now I've gotten significantly better at it, and I'm hoping to become even more better at it. So I think with this sketchbook I'm going to experiment a little bit more with coloring or like lining with a either like a different colored line art, or with the colored mechanical pencils, because that's what I use to draw this. I use the what are they called? The Pilot Color Enos. I use the Pilot Color Eno for this, and you know, it looked nice, so maybe I'll line with it too if that's possible, or like maybe just explore different lining options to make it look a little bit more free-flowing. I think that's one thing I definitely want to work on. I do like already, like I said, how I do my line art. It's just I need a little pizzazz. little you can't see it, but I'm throwing pretend sprinkles or like confetti at the screen, like pizzazz. So I'm hoping that, like, you know, can come into fruition. Now with the sketchbook, it is cardstock, which I feel like is one of the best papers you could possibly use for like all markers, like not just a specific one. I feel like cardstock is one of those papers that like can truly take anything and enhance it when it comes to markers. Okay, when it comes to markers, because it's not a mixed media sketchbook, of course. It's just, you know, regular cardstock paper. I used the mixed media sketchbook last time and I liked it. I really did, but I feel like when it comes to me, who, you know, lives, breathes, and eats markers, you want to save as much ink as possible by using paper that spreads the ink as evenly and as nicely as possible. Mixed media paper tends to drink up ink a lot more, and you know, you have to use a lot more ink to blend out things. Even if it's good paper, it's still going to take up a little bit more, while cardstock or like Bristol paper, I think it's Bristol, yes, I'm pretty sure, both of them kind of have almost like a lightweight quality to it, to where the ink doesn't completely have to be absorbed in to blend. It's so hard to explain. It's more so that the ink kind of stays next to each other and mixes nicely, compared to me having to put more ink in there for it to mix, you know? So inevitably, if I just want to do like a mixed media piece, or like if I want to use some mixed media supplies, I'll just do what I did before, which was use that kind of paper. I'm very willing to have, you know, separate papers and sketchbooks and stuff like that for the thing that, like, you know, works to its benefit. If I have, like, let's say watercolors, for example, I'm not going to use this paper. I'm going to use my watercolor pad that I have. Or, like, if I'm going to, you know, paint with gouache, the same thing, watercolor paper. or painting I'm gonna do on a canvas, or like really thick kinds of paper that they have that are pads that kind of imitate canvas, all of which are definitely an option. So for me, I think that if I'm going to stick with the main thing, I have to kind of, I guess, cater to the main thing. It's just kind of what makes sense, you know? Coming back to the piece though, I was scared to do the red and green combo, and it's because red and green, you know, like ding 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 Christmas immediately comes into mind. Red is one of those colors that once you pair it with something, you're like, oh, that's what it is, like it's associated with that. Like I can't mix red and yellow, that's Ronald McDonald. Red and green, Christmas. Red and blue is very much American flag with red, white, and blue. Like I have to be so careful with red, y'all have no idea. So I really like tried to make it to where the red was kind of like the over-consuming color in this piece. So this way it looks like the red blanket and it's just a dude with kind of like a green turquoise hair. So, you know, it looks separate enough and you don't think of certain holidays or certain like color combinations. It can be like a really like sketchy slope to slide down, but sometimes you just gotta, you know, play with your colors correctly and it can look pretty good from there. I do like how he looks. Of course I would. Of course, I'm asking myself, you know, would I? No, of course I would. But he's genuinely like a really cute character. I don't really tend to do smaller lips on characters just because, you know, I like big lips. What am I gonna say? But overall, of course, the body is very much in my alley. It is very much up there. The face is a little bit more sunken in. I usually like a nice, you know, chubbier kind of face or something. And he looks very annoyed, I feel, which is what I was trying to, you know, project here. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Oh, and I hope you can join me for this sketchbook journey. Bye!